Uh, what was I saying? Oh yes, okay, so last week, after our Tuesday meeting, we had our norm rules group meeting where we went through the process of adding 336, 337, and 338 fields to records in batches based on either material type or location, kind of just checking that the indication rules and the norm rules that we were using from the community zone were working as expected, and really just nailing down that process, since those fields seem to be missing quite often for different material types, particularly ebooks, with records from OCLC. So that project is going really well, and we should have some good documentation to share out as we continue to practice while cleaning up Pierce's records as we test it out. Oh, got two more. Wait a minute. Our Primo customization group went very well. It was very exciting and fun. And then I may have shared what we discussed in the Thursday meeting with LLC, and they're very excited. So I'm going to fill everybody in case anybody has some ideas or would like to join us in our endeavor. And what we're going to try to do is create a Spanish language discovery view in Primo, so that you can have a link to a discovery view that is in Spanish, that is simplified, so that students who are native Spanish speakers have the ability to better navigate the full catalog, all the resources, but do it in Spanish. We successfully created a couple of blended search scopes that return Spanish language results, but only from the library catalog, not from like e-resources. So we're working on that. My idea is to reach out to like an Alma University in Mexico and see if they will give me their Primo customization package. You know, because then it would have all the labels and stuff in Spanish. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but not from Spain. We're not Spain Spanish.
Mexican Spanish.
Yeah, Mexican
Yeah.
Spanish. I'm thinking also possibly Southern California, some of those community colleges, because
Might already have that. going
might
on.
not. Yeah. So if anybody knows of a school that has both an English view and a Spanish view, and you want to send some examples out, or we could even put them in chat if you happen to know them. Hold on, I'll open chat on my meeting computer here. I think that'll give us something to start from, to see like, okay, where are these settings? How does this look? What do we want? And maybe even do some usability testing with some of our students. Yeah, given how excited LLC was about that, I was like, oh good, this idea we had yesterday, I guess we'll just really work on that quickly. But that was pretty cool. Pretty exciting to think that we might be able to do something that would have a lot of impact beyond the library and maybe get some, like, you know, attention from other areas of the colleges. So yeah, in addition to sharing about the Primo group, the LLC meeting, I kind of just shared what we have done so far this last 8 months, with inviting vendors to our meetings, getting some more support, getting some e-resource deals, the sandbox cleanups. I tried to keep things as non-technical as possible, since a lot of these folks may not necessarily be librarians who are at LLC or at ELC. But I did talk a lot about how Alma and Primo can, well, I didn't talk a lot, but I definitely mentioned more than once that it would be very good if we have a stronger relationship with ELC because of how Alma and Primo can integrate with with Canvas. We can catalog open ed resources, but we have to have that relationship in order to do those kinds of projects. So I'm hoping that it kind of gets things rolling for us to have more communication both from ELC and LLC and more sharing about the work that we're doing in these meetings, because I think it's really cool how much you guys share knowledge with each other, because I certainly don't know everything. Yeah, so that was kind of what how the LLC meeting went. And in other LLC/execcom news, the slate for next year's execcom, that vote is due to the nominating committee on next Monday. So we will have a new executive committee who I will encourage to attend these meetings at least sometimes if they're not already attending them, so that they can know what we're doing as well. I think that's kind of like the rest of what happened last week. I have also been working on a LibKey project proposal, and I know a couple of you in this group talk to LibKey reps and have some familiarity with the product. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my draft of kind of what I'm thinking. I'm trying to put together a document that is high enough level that the execcom could take it to LLC or to the state board, or we could use it for an outline for grant funding or whatever. So let me go ahead and pull that up so that I can get your guys' feedback on it. I've not ever written a project proposal for a state agency. So bet I put it. Don't mind me, I drove 7.5 hours in extreme heat with 2 small children. And 90 was slowed down between Ellensburg and the top of the pass. And yeah, it was, yeah, good times. But my brain is a little fried. And our addition was robbed. The construction at my house, 2 people yeah, walked in the middle of the night and stole stuff out of our addition. They walked past the $300 car seat and the $300 stroller and went upstairs and stole medicine cabinets that were still in the box. I'm like, you're not going to get cash at Lowe's for those. You don't have the receipt. But yeah, so it's just been a very adrenaline roller coaster for a couple days. Okay. Sorry, Wi-Fi and my laptop.
Yeah, we have to apologize for the Wi-Fi at Greece River College. It sucks.
New fiscal year, anybody actually get budget news yet? Yeah. I know my internet connection is unstable. Thanks for the. Just need a little document. Hold on. I have an idea. I'm going to.
Are you logging on to visitor? If one of us logged in, like on the employee Wi-Fi, it might be a little bit stronger.
I've had issues with that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm also, okay, I am. Okay, I logged out from the laptop, so I'm not trying to run
Oh,
a Zoom meeting.
Right.
I made us hosts here,
oh, good. Oh, good.
which is not helpful now that I need to share my screen.
Right.
But once I can get it up, I think I can log
Yeah.
back in and then it'll be fine.
You're looking for a document or
Oh, it's in my Google Drive.
oh, right.
Yeah. Next week, might as well just jump ahead while we wait for this to load. Next week, I am going to review the August release notes for Alma and Primo. We've got, quite a few things coming in August, if I recall correctly. And we also have a big LibGuides release coming in August. So we may do a special LibGuides meeting. I don't know how many people are using LibGuides. I think it's most of you. Okay. I will. Project proposal is up. So I will start talking through it while I attempt to log back in, or maybe I'll just talk through it. So for project background, and this is where I'd love to get some of your additional reasoning for wanting LibKey. Again, trying to keep it pretty high level, but so, you know, connecting students, faculty, and staff to the resources that we pay for and the growing pool of open access data and research is one of the central reasons for the implementation of Alma and Primo at our member institutions. And then I kind of talk about how since we've implemented Primo, Third Iron has created this new product called LibKey. I try and explain very briefly how Primo links library records to actual digital content and how much work, I was like, librarians have to spend hours activating electronic collections and then customizing holdings. And then, you know, like, and then some of the issues with how the accuracy of Primo links and the general, like, with open access. And then I talk about a little bit about LibKey. I say LibKey combines the information about institutional e-journal holdings, authentication, and article links that they have received from vendors to deliver one-click access to PDFs from the discovery results list. And it can also be integrated into third-party platforms such as Google, ResearchGate, and Amazon. and it connects users to the library's full text resources and reliably links to open access content from across the web. So if you have thoughts on anything we could add to that section, that'd be cool. For purpose, the project would aim to implement and administer LibKey for each of our Whack-A-Click Alma colleges. And I've related that to the mission of Whack-A-Click as well as the goals of SBCTC's Educational Technology and Open Education Program, because we are supporting access for Washington students to important digital resources for learning success. But yeah, again, if you've got like some good grant language from something, feel free to shoot it my way. I also note that LibKey can be integrated into other library discovery layers. So non-Alma Primo colleges could join this project. And then I talk about the objectives being that Whack-A-Click would negotiate a central contract for participating members for the implementation and a one-year pilot, that we would provide support for participating institutions to complete the necessary Alma Primo configurations and data extraction for LibKey implementation, because basically we just create a publishing profile of what you guys have that then LibKey is able to basically streamline the links for, and then also attach those to the web searches like Google and stuff. So deliverable expected benefits. So this is another one where I'd really welcome any additional content ideas you might have. So users will experience a streamlined and consistent experience when connecting to purchased and open access resources available through the library discovery layer and third-party search platforms. I definitely need to make that a shorter sentence. The centrally negotiated and supported contract will reduce costs and decrease librarian labor. And we will join other library systems like the Community College League of California, Washington State University, University of Wisconsin. And then they also sent me some additional like Minnesota, and he sent them all as acronyms, so now I have to look them up because MinPals was the only one I knew. But CDL, BCI, which is in Quebec, and then NHS in the UK. But if anyone can like articulate additional benefits that I can throw in here, I do talk about the risks that, you know, we might not get it implemented well. It could, you know, like it will require some kind of standardization. So, okay, Amy in chat for the benefit of the recording. So from questioning Third Iron at Eluna, because Amy did have a chance to talk to them the most, it is mainly useful for journal content. So better linking to individual book chapters, reference entries, and ebook content. Not there yet. They're working on the Gale linking, but right now, yeah, it isn't significantly improved. And they're like working directly with Gale to get more of that. I think primarily at this point in time, and my impression has been that it would mostly really help with the open access stuff, because they get data from Unpaywall, but they also use the data from our publishing profiles to know that, oh, you have subscription access through this database, but with a 3-year embargo. But then here's the open access articles that are available on the web. And so then you're able to kind of like have the best of both worlds for the digital direct linking to open access. So I'm hoping that's how we can sell it to the higher levels. Now, for project timeline, I, would need to work with Third Key to get something more specific. But from my end, what I'm trying to do is put together this proposal to share with the new executive committee makeup and get their feedback. So I want to make it as strong as possible from your all's perspective, those of you particularly who are interested in it, because then executive committee can start talking to LLC about how a full project would be taken on, because there are bylaws that involve full projectness. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. It's a whole process, and I'm hoping that, with whole, like tying it to SBCTC objectives, that this might be something that they would, be like, oh, cool, let us help you somehow. I don't know, with some money. So I don't know. We'll see. But it's the only proposal I have so far written up. And if you want, we've looked at LibKey before, but it is. Monterey Peninsula College. Okay, so if we search something, like, okay, that's big. And then we limit it to open access. Okay, well, anyway, okay, peer reviewed, online, apply. You can see right here on open access, they have download the article, read the article. And one of the coolest things is, so this is open access and you can go straight through it to it, but they probably also have a subscription to this journal, or it's a fully open access journal. And so you're able to see everything else that is in this issue, and every single one that has the PDF symbol means that it is downloadable. So if we could provide this for our students, like, it's mad. It's so cool.
So Carly, I have a 2-for-1 example idea. I wonder if anybody at Monterey Peninsula College would be willing to talk with you about this product and, what the results are that they saw, so we could kind of like have a case study to include in the proposal. And they're also in California. They may have experimented with trying to do Primo in Spanish. So if like, it could be a 2-for-1.
Yeah, or they might even at least know another college nearby that does.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, really need to write their name correctly instead of keep searching it wrong. Yeah, no, that's genius. This is why I have to bring more ideas to the group. Okay. Key experience. Yeah, case studies are a great idea, especially from smaller community colleges. I don't know that it's going to be particularly useful to talk to the Community College League of California because the amount of central staff that they have supporting those colleges, like that's just not going to be our experience. Like I really love that Third Iron was like, yeah, we got them implemented in 2 months. I'm like, that's cute. We will not be that fast, but I appreciate it.
It might also give us an opportunity to kind of ask them about the things that Amy put in the chat and, you know, what their experience has been with those particular products and resources and things like that for a reality check too.
Yeah, for sure. Because I do want to make sure that I'm setting a precedent when I propose projects, that I'm being realistic about what it will take and like what we can expect to get from the product. I don't want to like oversell. Let's see if any of their research guides are in Spanish. Okay, well, anyway, excellent idea. Love it. I'm definitely going to follow up. Hopefully we're kind of, well, we'll see. I don't know how many, okay. Fall quarter starts in September. So yeah, it could be slow getting people if they're off contract, but yeah. Yeah. All right. Awesome idea. Okay. Is there any other feedback on the project proposal, thoughts? If anyone like, you know, has a really great example of a project proposal, I'm very much a find a good example and then just like copy it with my own content. But all of the examples were for solicited projects. So it was like, follow the sections. And I'm like, there are no sections. So I had to make up the sections. Yeah, hosted easy proxy is the next one I'm going to start working on. I started the conversation with OCLC and got some initial information, like confirming that we are all on easy proxy, that like, I think she said like, it was more than I thought. Like 8 to 10 are already on hosted easy proxy. I can share out a copy of the proposal from Google Drive, so you guys can take a look at it and add comments. That would be great. But Third Iron like gave me a off the record quote, whereas OCLC like gave me information about who was already easy proxy, and then I haven't heard from her again. But you know, it's vacation time, so I'm not, yeah. But I was like, well, I got numbers, so I'm gonna push this other one forward. The hosted easy proxy as well is something that I'm really eager to take higher up to the state board because of the resource sharing. Because even if like we could get some like some subsidy to get people onto hosted Easy Proxy. Really, the bigger thing would be if we could get a shared Easy Proxy server so that Waxaclick could buy a resource and then I could say, okay, here's the collection in the community zone, activate it, and then here's the proxy information, and I would just then build you another Easy Proxy integration profile, and when students went to that shared resource, they would just go through the Waxaclick Easy Proxy instead of having to activate it in every single person's thing. So, oh yeah, it's definitely a security thing. And if you guys have IT friends who can help me out with like the benefit of not having on-prem servers, that would be great. Otherwise, I'll just do some like Googling of like, you know, library blog posts on the danger of on-prem servers, and or use my own experience as someone who had an on-prem Easy Proxy server when my university experienced a ransomware attack. Super fun. Yeah, so the hosted Easy Proxy is the other one. I'm kind of waiting on OCLC to give me an idea of the work and the cost that would be involved. They also haven't really indicated any, I mean, they're nonprofit, so like nonprofit, like JSTOR, they're like, well, this is our price and this is what we do. But Third Iron is like, yeah, we're nonprofit, but we also like exist to make money, or they're not nonprofit, they're a B Corp or something. Anyway, they would rather cut us a deal and get customers and save effort by going through me than having to visit 34 institutions and maybe get like, you know, one subscription. So yeah, so LibKey's pretty eager, and I want to roll with the momentum of the meeting from last week. But yeah, Easy Proxy for All, that's the other one. Yeah, I think that's all I have, which is not anything like terribly useful in the moment, but just want to check in with everyone, make sure that summer is still going well, inventory projects are still going through all right. We've still got access to the shelf reader tool. George, you're on. Everything's still good with that? Not getting the unavailable message? Great. Yeah, okay, core technology. I am putting that language into my notes.
I don't know if that's the right phrase. The ELC or the SBCTC, they have, I think it's the ELC, they have a list of designated technologies, and I can't remember if it's called core technology or something else.
In the website, I think. Oh, yes, okay, thank you, Lori. I'm gonna save that and send it to myself. Yes, I've seen that website, and I think I was going to kind of work that angle to see like how they were framing those projects. The other, oh gosh, that just triggered something else, but I forget what it was. Oh,
That's how we got chat. Our chat is considered a core technology.
okay.
And so they help fund it. What the state library doesn't pay for it, they kick in and pay for because it's designated as core technology.
Okay, that's good to know because I can Yeah, cool. Because I also need to reach out to Sarah at the state library about live chat some more, so I can ask, yeah. Core made me think of Soul, and I have, I am working, update for North Seattle, who I don't know if anyone is here from North Seattle, but I am working to get EBSCO a sole source contract for some of their content that they're sole source contract with, because some business offices are, North Seattle is the most vocal at the moment, are having a conniption about the price threshold on subscriptions, and they don't kind of understand how subscriptions work. And so I'm working on getting some sole source contracts for Whack to Click set up, so that if we do like a shared purchase, we're not worried about like a content subscription, you know, getting questioned. We're not, it would allow any institution kind of operate under that sole source contract for different library services or content, just to like be like really cover our bases. Because I figure once we have, I do it once for EBSCO, I'll kind of know what needs to be done, and it should be pretty easy to like plug in other ones that would be helpful, like OCLC, because if we get, you know, like if we do a contract for cloud hosted proxy servers and have our own server, we could get Big Bend Community College. No, it's not their money. It's a thing. Like guys, just write the check. It's the executive committee approved it. But that way it would just be covered and handled, and less headache for Cassie, who runs all of the check writing and invoicing and stuff for Tim and Big Bend and Whack Click. So anyway, yeah, so for Soul, yes. So yeah, that's, any angles like that are so helpful. I'm still trying to really figure out the structure of SBCTC and like all the different timelines of its different groups and the name changes, and then trying to find a thing that they refer to, but then there's no historical like anything on it. You know, half tempted to go walk into the state board office in downtown Olympia on Thursday and be like, hey guys, let me meet some people. But I think everyone pretty much works remote, so not useful. So yeah. All right. Any other interesting projects or problems anyone's experiencing?
We ran into a wacky thing yesterday in Alma Records with people who have apostrophes in their name, and Alma does interesting things. And I was curious to see if anybody else has experienced this. And I'm going to put a couple of examples in the chat. Yeah. So we've got question marks for apostrophes, we've got no spaces, we've got spaces, and some are correct. So it's like the whole mixed bag.
I don't, when we had PPMS instead of CTC Link, our entire system would crash if we tried to bring in an accent mark. Like it would just crash the entire load. So loading something is probably better than loading nothing, but it's still, the faculty member whose name had the accent mark was really, really upset because the only thing that could work was HR had to take out the accent mark. And then she was like, but that's not my name. So it is really important to figure this out.
Wow. Thank you for that context, Amy, at least for getting names, but yes, for sure. Yeah. Before we took it to our IT person, who's our main contact, I was like, okay, let's see if this is just us or if this is a thing. So yeah, it sounds like it's a thing.
Well, and it probably has to do with the extract and how it gets converted into XML. And this is just yet another good argument for having me be trained as a query developer and having more standardized like query coding so that we can get consistent, at least, treatment of special characters and inclusion as much as possible. Because I think there must be coding, because I remember seeing users in Alma with apostrophes in their name. And so I wonder if Orbis Cascade has some coding.
Yeah, and I did find an example of somebody's last name O'Brien who was correct. We started with this question started with the first name in the chat, and then I was like, oh, I need another name with an apostrophe, and I just racked my brain. I was like, O'Brien, there's got to be some of them, and then I just randomly started looking. So weird.
Well, and I mean, that's one of those like accessibility and inclusion things where, you know, like we need to have support at the state level in order to provide the same level of service that students are receiving at, you know, financial aid or student success. Because I can't imagine that it's acceptable that a student's name is mangled in one of those systems. So there's got to be a solution, and I will most definitely find out what it is. And I'm thinking it has something to do with Unicode and conversions, and I will learn, or I will find someone who knows and I will use it. So thank you. Excellent idea. Always love a problem to look into. All right, it is 10:45. I am very excited for my Grays Harbor Library tour and for the most of my week vacation coming up after my visit to Puyallup tomorrow. And next Monday, I will be driving back from the west side after seeing Taylor Swift. So I apologize if next Tuesday I'm just still like real excited. And or I've heard that it's a thing to just like be really depressed after the concert, that it's over. Yeah, I still don't actually believe that I got tickets. Like I keep checking in my Apple Wallet and being like, are these real? Are these real?
I got tickets too, so
Nice.
I was gonna ask you about that.
Chat.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's that. But by and large, very excited to be here on the west side this week. Yeah, I think like the very first meeting, because I was still teaching at Whitworth, the comm class, and I was like, there were 2 different days that they were doing like login for tickets, and I had to like log in that very first meeting like at 10 a.m. to put in my preferences and for the lottery second round thing. So here we are 8 months later,
Right.
many shopping trips and shoe choices and all the rest of it. So yeah, have a great week. Let me know if you have any thoughts. I will share out the project draft so that you guys can comment. I will follow up on getting a case study, and then yeah, and then next week we do have normal customization. So I hope I've got some info so that we can start some Spanish language Primo views as well. So, okay, well, take care, everyone. Hopefully it's not too hot or too smoky, and we will see you next week. Construction. Can't escape it anywhere.
It's on all three sides. It's mild today, sometimes. Yeah.